Hey everybody, I'm back. I told you I was going to have another public speaking and business talk tonight, and here it is. I have it. So if you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Samantha DeLoache, your modeling pharmacist and professional speaker coach, and I have been having a fabulous time with all of my different conversations that I've been having with the public speaking and business platform. I will always tell you the reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to realize that public speaking is an essential skill. And any skill, you can always develop it. You can always get better at it. So don't feel like, oh, I'm shy. I have stage fright. I have imposter syndrome. I have this, I have that. It doesn't matter. All of those things can be worked out, but you have to make the first step. And what is the first step that I would suggest? If you're kind of on the fence, don't know what you need to do, I think you should join the Model Speakers Academy. I created the Model Speakers Academy last month, and I developed it because I want to help individuals get their confidence. I believe we all have a story to share. We all have had life experiences that have led us to this point. And guess what? What we go through is not for us, it's for somebody else. So I believe that we may be holding somebody else's breakthrough, somebody else's next level with our story, with our message, with our example. And so I want us to just own our power, own our voice, because our voices can change lives, but we got to start with our own life first. And so I want to empower individuals to throw away the fear and step into their power, own their voice. And I want to help you share your message. And I do that with the model systems for success. And the M stands for motivate, the O is for organize, the D is for deliver, the E is for engage, and the L is for lead. Because if you're a speaker, you're a leader. If you have the microphone, if you have everybody's attention, if you're on the stage, you're leading in that moment. So I want us to be thought leaders. I want us to be experts in our fields, in our expertise, because we all have, again, information, experiences, knowledge, things that we can share that can help somebody on their journey. And so that's why I started this platform, because I wanted to show you in everyday life, real time, how people have used those public speaking skills to help them be better businessmen and women, to be better entrepreneurs. And guess what? Even if you don't own a business, it doesn't matter. You have a job, right? Don't you want to advance on your job? Don't you want to get better? Don't you want to get that promotion? Well, guess what? If you're quiet, if you're not sharing those ideas and thoughts, you're probably going to get looked over. So you're going to have to be able to speak up for yourself. And that's what this does. Maybe you want to speak in your community, in your church. It doesn't matter where you want to speak, where you want to share your message. We can help you articulate that in any arena, in any platform, on any stage, and even communicating with one person. Maybe you want to be able to talk better with your family members, your spouse, your friends. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be thousands of people. The skills you learn in the Model Speakers Academy can be applied to any area of your life. If you're a better communicator, a more effective communicator, you're going to have better results overall. So that's what this is for. I want to encourage individuals. I have a free webinar this Wednesday. Excuse me, it is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I want you to sign up. It's free. And if you know somebody who could benefit, they have them sign up as well. But it's this Wednesday, October 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a free webinar where you can learn about the Model Speakers Academy and what it has to offer. And you know what? Like I've been saying every night, just about, you don't have to wait to 2025 to make a change. You don't have to wait for a new year and to be a new you. You can make a decision today to say, hey, I'm tired of what I've been doing. It hasn't been working. I've been saying I'm going to do ... and I still haven't done it yet. I need some accountability. I need somebody to come alongside to help me get this journey started. And that's what I'm here to do. So again, welcome back. Thank you for joining. And now I have the opportunity to talk to someone else, Dr. Karissa Hutchins out of Alabama. Yes, not yesterday, but about an hour ago, I was talking to someone from California, and now we're in Alabama. We're in the Big Bama. And again, I said it last hour, and I'm saying it again. I love technology. When it works right, I love it, because I'm able to speak to someone in California and Alabama in a matter of minutes, where, I didn't have to leave, my house or drive, I was just able to tune in. So I love that about how technology has worked in our favor, at least in that area. But without further ado, welcome, Dr. Karissa. Please tell us about your brand, your platform, and we're going to get ready for a great discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you for the warm welcome, Dr. Samantha. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure joining this conversation today. I look forward to just going over my story and definitely connecting with those in the audience. So, as far as my brand goes, I, in my corporate field, am a senior HR business partner for Amazon. So, been with the company for a little over 4 years. While working, I also received my doctorate degree this past August in international business. So super proud of the fact that I was able to juggle that and many other things, including my books. So I do have a couple books that I will definitely share. One is a prayer book for the workplace. So prayers that you can utilize within work, prayers related to stress, related to work life balance, related to maybe a challenging conversation, a one on one. Regarding next steps within your career, maybe what you're doing right now is not it, and what can God show you as far as other opportunities that might be available for you, that He has planned for you. For as you know, He has plans for us, plans of hope and a bright future. So definitely want to share that book with everyone. And then my latest book, a prayer book for students and teachers. So
Hmm.
wanted to write this as I was finishing up my degree, just to encourage those that are in school, that are working within the school system, to continue going, to continue moving the needle, and that you have this. So I'm super excited about those books. Definitely received a lot of inspirationals about the books so far. And I look forward to continuing to grow my brand with future books that I have in the works.
Wow. Well, congratulations on the graduation. And
Thank
then
you.
I love it. A powerhouse, working for Amazon and, still doing your thing yourself. And, you're an author and I love it. We need prayers in the workplace and we definitely need prayers in the school system. So that's amazing that you have both of those books. So we're going to definitely look forward to hear more about that. But let's go ahead and get into the discussion. Why do you believe public speaking is a crucial skill for business professionals today?
Oh, yes, such a great question, too. I believe it's a special skill because that is the way to find your voice, right? That is the way to craft who you are, who you're going to be, and being your authentic self. So, public speaking doesn't have to sound like Oprah, it doesn't have to sound like a specific person. Yes, you can admire them, sure, but how does it sound like you? What craft and brand do you want to develop when public speaking or going forth? And how do you want folks to remember you? So I think it starts there at the focal point of just speaking, right? Just sharing your story, starting getting your voice out there. That way, your name can be mentioned, and that your brand will be heard.
Right. And I love that you brought up some other individuals. A lot of times people do feel like they have to compare themselves to other people. And you never want to get caught in the comparison trap. We all have our own lane. There's never going to be another Oprah. There's never going to be another, you know, Iyanla Vanzant, whoever the speakers are, whoever they are their people. So you can get inspiration, but you don't want to, imitate them. So I love that, you brought that up. Like find your voice, find your why. That's one of the things we talk about in the Model Speakers Academy in the motivate section. Like, what is your motivation? Why are you wanting to speak? What do you want to share with the world? So we need to be clear on our why because that's going to help, push us when times get rough, not if they get rough, but when they get rough, because we all have challenges. We all going to experience some ups and downs, but you want to have a strong why that grounds you. And so the only way you can do that is to sit with yourself, learn yourself and figure out, what is it that you want to share with the world. So I absolutely love that. So my second question is, can you share a personal experience where public speaking significantly impacted your career or business?
Absolutely. So, first of all, let me start that uh, during this time I was very shy, right? And even now, I consider myself to be an introverted leader. I am
Mhm.
not the one that's going to speak up and be very loud within meetings. However, I am going to provide a calm energy where I'm going to think before I speak, but still
Mhm.
ensure that my voice is heard because that is my brand. You don't have to be the loudest voice in the room, you just have to speak. And that's what I like to instill into those that I mentor those that report to me, especially the introverted leaders, that it's okay
Mhm.
to be introverted to speak,
Right.
and let folks know who you are. So, how did that start with me? So, I never cared for public speaking. I never wanted to do it. I always got very nervous when speaking in front of folks. And there came a time where I was getting ready to graduate from college. And my dad, he is still very connected within the community, and he was going to attend this event. Where at this community event, there would be CEOs, there would be hiring managers, you name it. And I'm getting ready to graduate, right? So my dad made the suggestion saying, "Hey, Karissa, I won't be able to come to this or join this event. Would you like to go in my place?" So I said, "Okay, why not?" He said, "Okay. And while you're there, speak up." So
Yeah.
he said, "You're
Right.
graduating, you should speak up. Let them know who you are, that you're graduating and that you're a passionate young person that is very interested in getting back into the community." So I did just that. Was I nervous? Yes, I was nervous. But did I
Mhm.
do it? Yes. And for me, that's all that matters, because on that day, it changed my trajectory of my
Mhm.
career. So with that, after I stood up and said, "Hey, my name is Karissa. I am graduating. I am interested in getting back into the community, XYZ." I had folks that stopped me after the meeting and handed me their business cards. I'm
Wow.
talking about CEOs, managers, you name it, which led me to my internship with the Kellogg Foundation, which
Mhm.
later led me to my career with Kellogg Company. So right after I graduated. So that was my success story. Honestly, it took me into a path of HR. It took me into a path of corporate America. And I don't think I would be where I am today if I did not speak up in a public forum.
Wow, that's so good because actually two things. One, we have to be ready when opportunities come because they don't come that often. And I think some people feel like, oh, well, if I don't get this one, I'll get the next one. Hey, it may not be a next one. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to be ready. And you did it afraid. A lot of times people want to wait till they have it all together or they,
Mm-hmm.
don't want to feel fear. But the thing is, the fear is going to come, but you can't let that fear immobilize you and stop you from moving forward. And like you said, that leap of faith, that stepping out there, that just being able to show up and speak up allowed you to get opportunities that you might not would have been able to get. And so we have to realize that one, the window of opportunities don't always stay open forever. So when there's an opportunity or a chance for you to step up and speak out, be prepared. You getting ready to graduate. And so some people have been like, oh, well, let me wait till after I graduate. No, go ahead and do it while you're in the process. You don't have to wait. Go ahead and put your name out there. And you did. And then, like you said, you felt the fear, but you still did what you need to do and got your voice out there. And so we have to stop waiting around and stop allowing fear to control the narrative. We have something valuable to share with the world. We have to know that and own it and not be afraid to step up when that opportunity knocks, because that's what success is. When opportunity meets preparation, that's how you
Mm-hmm.
get success. So we should be constantly preparing. If I say I'm a speaker, then I should have a speech ready, honestly, that I can share at any moment. If I say I'm a singer, I should have a song ready to sing at any moment. If I'm a dancer, I should have a dance ready. What am I getting at? If this is something that I say I'm good at or I want to be recognized or known for, then I need to be preparing and constantly practicing, constantly fine tuning so that when somebody calls me up or when I have to show up in a space that I might not have been expecting, I at least have something to work with. I
Mm-hmm.
can at least show up and give my best self. So we got to get our mindsets right for that. So that was a great example. My next question is, what are some common public speaking challenges that many business professionals face, and how can they overcome them?
Oh, that's such a good question. As far as challenges, based on what I see, I would say just being your authentic self is probably one of the biggest challenges that I see, especially for someone entering into a space where this is their first time public speaking, to
Mhm.
where they feel like they can't be their authentic self, where they have to adjust how they sound or switch, utilizing different word choices. I think that is probably one of the biggest mistakes when it
Mhm.
comes to public speaking, and how to overcome that is preparation. So understanding who's going to be in the room, who's going to be
Mhm.
sitting down, and getting to know those individuals, identifying who your allies are within those meetings, within those spaces, in order to build the comfort level that you have and the comfort zone that you have. So recognizing who's in a room, even having small talk prior to doing
Nice.
any form of presentation is always good. Getting to know who they are, doing some history, even if it's through LinkedIn. That way you got like a small casual conversation like, hey, I know you have a dog named Ivory. I have a dog named Star. And
Yeah.
getting to know the folks in the room in order to release some of those nerves, as well as feel comfortable bringing you, completely you, 100% you, to the
Mhm.
table would go a long way. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges I see is folks trying to identify who they are within the public forum.
Mhm.
And for me, I think a best solution, or the best solution, is to build those relationships, having those small talks, doing the work, preparing for the audience that you may intend to present to, that may have curveball questions, where you might want to develop allies in order to get your support, and ensure that they're in the room with you, but doing the work prior to that.
Wow, I love that. And that's so true. Be your authentic self. And it sounds simple, but many people struggle with that. And I think it's because they don't spend enough time just getting to know themselves. Like, what are your likes? What are your dislikes? And code switching is real as well. A lot of times people feel like they can't be themselves, and it's a fine line. You want to be your authentic self, but sometimes some things are just not widely accepted or understood. So sometimes we have to be more mainstream. And so it's like I said, it's a unique battle, but you still want to bring all of yourself, even if it is an accent or whatever the case is. You can still be professional and still be yourself. So
Agreed.
just like you said, if you got to practice, and you need to take that time to know yourself, prepare, and that way when you're put in those positions where you have to speak or show up, you're ready. And I love the part when you mentioned about doing some small talk beforehand. I read a book where a gentleman, I think the name of the book is called Speak with No Fear. He mentioned that when he goes to speak places, he normally mingles beforehand and shakes hands and talks and learns names and find out about people that's in the audience. And then when it's time for him to go up, people are shocked, like, oh, I got to speak to him already. I already met him, because he didn't try to put himself up so high, like I'm above the audience, like I'm, some king. But no, he said, hey, I'm going to talk. And so that way I'm not talking to strangers. I've already met some of you. So that kind of helps eliminate some of those fears. And where it's appropriate, he sometimes even brings the name up of some of the people he met prior in his talk, so that it's like it's building that connection, it's building that engagement, because now he's and bringing them into the story, and they weren't expecting that oh my gosh, he remembered my name and he's including me right now. And so it's those little things that you do that can enhance your presentation and make things better. So yes, meet the audience if you can, talk, do some small talk, because many people meet the speaker after the talk. They don't necessarily meet the speaker beforehand. So you can switch it up, come early enough so that you can greet and meet different people, and that may help alleviate that nervous energy, because hey, now I'm not speaking to strangers or a room full of strangers. I'm speaking to some people I've already met and know. So you just have to be willing to do those things, sometimes think outside the box, but still own who you are authentically, but look for creative ways that can help you during your presentations. And so my last question is, what is one essential tip that you would offer to someone who's looking to improve their public speaking skills?
Yes. Practice, practice, practice. Even doing mock public speaking settings, and you can do this with a friend, you can do this with a family member, where you're like, hey, like I have this big presentation tomorrow. Can I run it by you? Can you ask me some tough questions, especially if there's Q&A? I believe that that definitely helps, just as far as if you're one that needs to process the information and it may take you longer than normal, having that information or preparing for some of those tough questions after the presentation, it always helps. So doing that with a family member, doing that with a friend, is a great reminder and a tip to help prepare, as well as the 5 second rule. So when I was starting off in corporate America, the chief human resource officer, she shared this tip with me, and I'll share it with everyone on the call. And it's the 5 second rule. So before responding, pause. Pause for 5 seconds. Ensure
Mhm.
that you heard the individual correctly and then respond. You don't have to respond right away, especially if you're unsure as far as the information that you hear. And if you are unsure, you can say, hey, I want to make sure that I heard you correctly. What I've heard is that you have a question regarding X, Y, Z. And once that person responds, and to be honest with you, it gives you time to kind of prepare the response and then respond based on that. So, public speaking to me is not only just presenting, but being prepared for any follow up questions, especially if it's in a public setting or forum where you have to respond. And those are my tips and guidance if that is the case.
I love that. Yes, you definitely want to practice. I like to say practice how you play. So that means if I got a 5-page speech or whatever, I'm reading every word out loud like I'm talking to the audience at that time, because that way I can work on pronunciation of words, or work on my pauses, or if I want to throw in a joke, or whatever the case is, you want to literally do it like you're doing it for real, because a lot of times we just I guess, kind of believe that we can do better than we can really give ourselves credit for. We don't practice as well, and we don't read a material, or we just read it and don't practice it. And so sometimes, we overestimate our abilities. And then when we get there, because we didn't do it out loud, it sounds different, or it feels different because we didn't really practice it. So you definitely want to make sure you practice it. And then I like that, work on the question and answers, anticipate the questions that you may get. That way you've already formulated the answers, because, you know, people may have a question, and so if you've already practiced and prepared, then that won't throw you off, or you won't, be, extra nervous because you've already practiced that portion, especially if you know what happens. And then again, like you said, get some family friends or somebody to come in and ask some questions too, because they may have something that you might not have thought of. And that way you can again practice so that you'll be prepared for any possibility. And really, when you go and do a speech or a talk, I say prepare for anything. Maybe their laptop might not work. So you need to bring your own laptop, or they may not be able to pull up your slides. So maybe you need to bring a backup copy, or a way to project it, or even bring printed paper copies. So you want to always anticipate, what if something goes wrong? What if their mic doesn't work? Well, bring your own mic,
Mm-hmm.
bring your own little speaker. Like, we have to really try to think ahead. We ideally would love everything to work out, but sometimes it doesn't. So the more potential scenarios you can prepare for things that could go wrong, or things that might not work right, then the better off you'll be. And I even had a guest come on. I can't remember where he was from, but he said he had to literally do his talk one time in the dark because the power went out.
Oh,
And so
wow.
it was like candles, so it was no electricity, but he had a paper copy, so he was still able to do his speech and talk, but it was no slides. But it's just, you just never know what can happen. Sometimes, the strangest things happen, and in the worst times. So you have to really be thinking ahead and prepared for whatever can happen. And so the main thing is you got to know your message and have it practiced, and or have access to it so that you can present it even if a challenge presents itself. So how can we stay in contact with you, Dr. Karissa? How can we follow what you have going on, your website, social media, and tell us about those books, how we can get one of those prayer books.
Yes, absolutely. So feel free to reach out to me through LinkedIn. So I'm usually pretty responsive just within my HR hat that I wear. So feel free to contact me. As far as the books, I do have them currently on blurb.com, but I'm happy to share the links as well. That way you could review as well as purchase if interested. And I do have a few more coming your way as far as textbooks and other things of that nature that I'm
Ooh.
excited to share Q4 as well as Q1 2025.
Wow, that sounds exciting. Well, you all heard it here first. Dr. Carissa has some many great books out there, and she has some more coming. And I'm going to have all her social media links attached to this so you can follow her and stay in the know that she has everything going on, stay caught up. And again, Dr. Carissa, I want to thank you for your time this evening. And I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation. You got two back to back today, so you're really blessed to get these conversations today. So I hope you're taking notes, and getting in a place where you can apply what you're learning, because knowledge not applied does really no good. I think we know enough. We got to start applying what we know. So I hope you're getting these tips and you're actually applying them in your life so that you can become a better speaker. So again, thank you, Dr. Karissa, for coming on today. And you all tune in tomorrow, because I'm going to have another great public speaking and business talk tomorrow at 1 p.m. for our lunchtime